Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for November 17th, 2019. So, I've read quite a bit this week. It was a good reading week. I didn't write as much as I wanted to, so I'm like a day behind. If you don't know what that is, I'm taking part in NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month, where you write 50,000 words in a month. I do this every year. This is my, did I say 14th year? Or I've already done 14. This is the 15th. No, it's the 14th. Okay, anyway, something like that. It's close to that. Anyway, I've done it quite often, and I've only failed once. So I'm right now, I'm a little behind. So I'm going to do another. So today I have to do a catch up because I need to write 2 days worth. So that's going to be part of my priority today. So we'll see if I get much reading done. But other than that, I really read a fair amount this week. I finished up a couple of things. And then I started a few things. So we're just going to kind of go through that with the stuff what I finished and what I'm in the middle of and what I think I might read later. I don't know if I have that or not. Maybe I'll just say what I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. So the first book I finished was I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. One woman's obsessive search, I can't talk today, for the Golden State Killer. So I listened to this on audio. This was narrated by Gabra Zachman, I believe is her name. And it was, I thought the audiobook was excellent for that. I used to read a lot of true crime, so I did like that. Then I thought she handled it really well. The really hard scenes and stuff. I thought that was I thought she did a fantastic job. She was very sensitive about those areas of stuff. Because again, it's a gruesome story of, what the Golden State Killer did over that time period, long time period of, of rapes and murders in the 70s and 80s. So I really appreciated her writing. So I know that this book was not completed because she passed away before it was done, and of course she died unexpectedly, so she didn't, her husband had gotten some other people to finish her book for her, some of her colleagues. So it is a little jumbled in the end. But I think they did a really good job through most of it of pulling together what she had written and what she had, pulled together research-wise. So I think this is really good at true crime and a memoir kind of mashed together. And it was a little different than most of the true crime that I've read. So I did find that interesting. I would not say, memoirs are not my favorite nonfiction genre. I do read some, but it's not my favorite. But I liked the twist of that together. So I thought it was well done. I feel bad that she didn't get to finish it because I think a book could have been fantastic if she had gotten to write the whole thing. And it is sad that she passed away before she learned of the arrest of the suspect. So I'd say. Overall, I really enjoyed this. Again, I don't read as much true crime as I used to, so it was nice to pick one up that a lot of people had talked about that I'd wanted to read for quite a while, actually. Because I remember documentaries on the original Night Stalker and the East Area Rapist and then the Golden State Killer, what they've called it, but or what she coined the Golden State Killer, that everybody now calls him. But it was one of those things where I lived in California at the time, so I tried not to think about it because it was many years out, before I had moved there, but it was still one of those big stories, that it was very interesting because, again, she talks about Sacramento a lot, which is where I lived, and so I could see, like, most of those places, like, not, like, the individual houses, but, like, the streets and the parts of the town, and she did that really well. I think I definitely had a sense of place in the ones that even that I didn't know, like I think Walnut Creek and a couple other ones, which I can't think of the names of the cities right now. But it was like, I thought it was done well. Anyway, overall, I really enjoyed that. I would recommend that. If you don't mind reading something a little creepy, maybe don't read it when you're by yourself. I listen to it in my car almost exclusively to and from work or when I was out and about. So I really enjoyed that. I didn't have any problems, but maybe it's because I was safe in my car. I don't know. I can't really say. And again, I've read a lot of true crime over the years, so. But I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, again, I said I feel bad that she didn't get to finish it, but I still thought it was really well done overall because her writing style was beautiful. The next book I finished was Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, Creative Living Beyond the Fear. I picked this up at the right time. I was struggling with my nano novel, and I was not sure if I was gonna make it. And starting to read this, I think I started it early in the week, and I'm so glad I did, because it gave me kind of freedom to abandon what I was working on and go, that story just isn't calling me. Let's not work on that. Let's just move on. And I've been able to continue writing all week, even though I abandoned my original novel idea. So I've kind of gone rogue. And if you guys know Nano at all, you know that a lot of people go rogue and we don't do like the one story the whole way through. So I've pretty much done that, and I'm now playing around with it. But this book was very instrumental in kind of releasing the fear of, this isn't going to work. I'm going to abandon it really soon. And I'm glad that I read it. As I said, it was just at the right time, because she talks about how ideas come and go, and how if you don't work on it, then it's just going to disappear, and then someone else will do with that idea. Again, it doesn't focus primarily, it focuses a lot on writing or things to do with creative that way, but she also talks about just with art and anything else that's pretty much your hobby that, you know, you are passionate about. Okay, she said don't use the word passionate, but you know what I mean? Like things that you enjoy doing. And she says everybody is a creative person, everybody has their own thing. They have, you know, some people write and some people draw and some people do other things, you know, so it's like, it was just more being open to doing stuff that you create stuff. And I think I thought it was a perfect book at the time that I read this. It made sense to me. And if you're struggling with trying to find time, or like trying to figure out if you should be spending time, I think this is a good book to kind of make you go, yes, you need to spend time on that. Even if it's just a small amount of time every day or every couple of days, like you just make a plan and just go for it, and just have fun. And yeah, like certain people are like want to be published and stuff, but you don't have to be perfect. You need to grow and you need to write. And I mean, I've written a lot and I'm not perfect, and nor am I saying I'm ever going to be published, but I have fun when I get into writing. And I love this book for bringing that back to me, because again, this year has been like the least amount of words I've written in years. Like I can't even remember. It's been a really probably 15, 20 years since I've written so little in one year on any of my stories. So this was really nice. It helped me, you know, struggle. It would help with the struggle I was having this week, but I think it's going forward. It's a good reminder. So I do recommend that if you're looking for a book to kind of just, I mean, again, it's just a kind of helping you say, hey, it's okay to not be perfect, but you should still do your art or do whatever, you know, drives you. I think it was a good book. The other book I finished was Ex Libris, Confessions of a Common Reader by Anne Fadiman. This one took me a little while, because they're essays on, and she wrote them for, I don't know, some kind of journal or something of Library of, I don't know, it was Library of Congress or something. I don't remember what it was. I read it, I just don't remember. But so they're like 8 to 12 pages for each story. I thought she wrote them really well. They were kind of funny. Again, they're on her personal relationship with books and writing and things, mostly books. I really enjoyed this overall, but it also was really hard for me to read. So I can't say I rated it very high, but I think it was good for what it was. I don't really particularly like essays. I mean, I like nonfiction a lot, but I'm again, I think it really comes down to, I don't like short stories as much as I like, you know, other things. I think essays are kind of on the same level for me, that because they're short, it's easy to read them and move on, but I don't usually like to read short things and then move on. I want to dive in deep and get to know characters and things like that. So in essays, it's kind of the same way. It's on the subject, I want more. But I thought she did really well. I don't think these are bad in any way. I think they're really well done. This was published in 1998. So I do remember seeing this book when I worked at Walden Books back in the day. And I just never picked it up. It was one of those where it was too expensive for this little book, and I just didn't think to get it from my library. But I did this time. So I did. I'm glad I read it. I just, it didn't blow my mind. Let's put it that way. And then on Friday, I came home from work. I was just exhausted from the whole week. It's been a long week, and next week's going to be much worse. Anyway, but I decided to allow myself to read a little fiction because I was just feeling like I needed to switch things up. And on Tuesday, I had received Fruits Basket, another by Suki Takaya. And this is the third and final volume in Fruits Basket is another. This was translated by Athena and Althea Nibley. And so I reread the first two because I had the first two. So this is the series that comes after the Fruits Basket series. So you don't want to read this until you read Fruits Basket. And I know that's like 25 volumes or whatever. I love Fruits Basket. It's one of my favorite mangas that I've ever read. I'm kind of worried to watch the new manga or new anime. I have the old anime, and I was always so disappointed in the end because because they made the anime too soon and the manga hadn't reached its conclusion, and so they didn't know where it was going, so they just made one season. And I liked the season, I just don't like the last episode. Anyway, but they're making a new one now, and I'm like, I want to watch it, but I also I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if anybody's watched it. You'll have to tell me. But I enjoyed finally finishing the second series here. It's just a little 3-volume one. It was kind of nice to return to this world, but have all new characters. But it's the next generation from the kids in the Fruits Basket. It was really adorable. I really enjoyed it. I mean, but it was also very dark and very emotional. I'll have to say, it really hit me the last volume because I didn't know what was coming for sure. I knew there was something building up, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And it was just, there was one part I was kind of tearing up, I admit it. Anyway, but again, I did cry at the end of the last one too. Anyway, I just love, as I said, I don't read a lot of manga much anymore. I do intersect it a little bit here and there. I don't hear about ones I want to read as much anymore. But this one's always, author has always been one of the ones I liked since I started Fruits Basket. So I have some of her other stuff too that I've read over the years. I haven't really looked to see was anything new, I admit it, except until these came out. So, but anyway, I did that on Friday to kind of get myself to have a break from nonfiction, and I just was tired but I really wanted to read it because I just got it, so I just read all 3 of them, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed Friday night. Anyway, so now I'm going to talk about the books that I'm in the middle of. I'm listening to Eager, The Surprising Secret Life of Beavers and Why They Matter by Ben Goldfarb. This audiobook is really, really fascinating. I mean, again, the book is fascinating, I think. I didn't know really again, I've heard about this. I'm pretty sure I saw this on a book Olive. I think Olive talked about it. But anyway, I had gotten it as an audiobook a couple months ago on some deal. Again, I'm from the Beaver State. I'm kidding. Anyway, I grew up in Corvallis, so of course, Oregon State Beavers. Not that I went there, but anyway, the point is that, I have a lot of, I know, beavers is one of those things I don't know a lot about, but it's a word that, I knew a lot of the word beaver forever. Anyway, so I wanted to know more about beavers because I don't know much about them, or, I guess I wanted to learn more. And I hadn't picked up a nature book in a little while, so I thought this would be the one for this year at least. I'm really glad I did so far. It's really interesting. I'm learning a lot about the waterways and how things happen, or how they were decimated during the I think it was the 1700s, just annihilated. They got rid of people, just killed them. Anyway, and it's interesting how streams and things were supposed to be different because beaver dams made beaver lakes, and then those things had a lot of different animals needed those areas that the beavers created. And it was really interesting. It talked about even fish, how they learned to jump because of beaver dams, because they'd have to jump over the beaver dam. There was like someone's bumper sticker about that. I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, something about that the beavers taught the salmon to jump or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was funny. So I'm about halfway through this now. A little bit over halfway. So I'm really enjoying this. It's interesting to hear about how different the landscape could be when you take out a creature that, you know, creates landscape. Like they change the way the waterways go. And then what happens when you try to reintroduce them. And that's kind of what's going on now, is that a lot of places are trying to reintroduce them to different areas that to help with flooding and or not making the rivers quite so fast, or and again a lot of wildlife. So it's really fascinating, and I'm really enjoying this. So as I said, I'll probably hopefully finish that up this week. Again, I still have like 6 hours left of it, I think 5 or 6 hours. So I mean, that should mostly be all the car driving I'm going to do this week. So that's probably what I'm going to finish. And then I started I can't remember. I was going to look this up and then I can't think how it goes. Burnellistes? No, Burnell. I don't know. The Dome. Anyway, this is by Ross King. This is how a Renaissance genius reinvented architecture. So this is talking about, well, his other name, his first name is like Philippe or something. Filippo. So we'll just call him Filippo for now. I think it's something like that. So this is early 1400s in Florence. They have, they're building a big cathedral, the Saint Maria de Fiore in Florence, and they have a competition on how to make this dome. They have, they've built the structure, like octagon-wise, I think, like the little, you can see the little sides. Anyway, and they have a competition, and this guy is the one who won. So right now, I only read a little bit. This is, I'm not going to say dry, but I'm going to say this makes me, I have to concentrate a little bit more, and maybe it's because it's talking about Italy, and it's talking about architecture and art, and some history, things that I don't know a whole lot about. So it's just taking me a long time. I don't think I'm going to focus so much on this book right now. I mean, it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's not quite to that point of saying that. It's just every time I pick it up, I feel like I get a couple paragraphs and that's like it. So I've only read about 29 pages, and it's only 162. So it's not very long. But I think I might just like read a couple pages every day. This might be one that I don't finish this month because I'm slowing down and I really want to read some other stuff. I do still want to read this. I do want to learn about this dome and about the architecture stuff. Again, this is my pick for design, so I do want to read it. I'm slowing down. So maybe if I have a day where I could sit down and just like read a good chunk of it, I'd get more into it. And I just feel like because the last couple of days I didn't read a whole lot, because Friday night I read The Fruits Basket, and then yesterday I didn't have time to read. I read a couple pages when I got my hair done, but other than that, I didn't read a whole lot of this yesterday. I think I read 9 pages. And so I think Thursday and Friday at work, I read about 20 pages altogether. So it's a much slower read. And again, it's smaller print for this kind of book. I don't know. I mean, there are pictures and things, like there's stuff in here, and I do want to read it. So I'm just saying that this book might be one of the ones that I put off a little bit and read some other stuff. So, because I kind of wanted to pick up another book. So I have had this book on my shelf for, I think, almost 2 years. And that is Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. Anyway, so I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Yes, Cooper. And I've always wanted to read this, just, bad cat. So, again, it's about medicine and what matters in the end. And again, it's talking about end of life, medicine, or, with doctors and things. And, I haven't got very far. I've only read part of the introduction. I just started it last night because I wanted to pick up something else besides the Dome book. So I figure I'm going to read this next week. I've just heard a lot of people talk about this and about his writing, and so far, you know, as I said, it's written really well so far. So I'm curious on how this goes. So I did want to get to this as well, and no, it was not on any of my TBRs or possibilities. I just picked it up anyway. And then I will pick up at some point this week. You probably will not see this again because I will read this before Saturday and then give it back to my friend, and that is Betty and Veronica Vixens. So this is one of those ones of the Archie's comics that they've like revamped into a new kind of world kind of thing, and this one is Betty and Veronica like are on motorcycles. So I don't know a whole lot about it. There's a string of crimes in Rivendell, and Betty and Veronica decide they need to take some action. So I don't know. I'm going to read this, but I'll be giving it back to my friend for my writing group on Saturday. So you probably won't see it again, but I am probably going to read that. So we'll see. Beyond that, when I finish Eager for audiobook, I am probably going to finally pick up John Adams by David McCullough. I have an audiobook for that. I can't remember who narrates that, but when I get to that, I'll let you know. But I think I'm finally going to pick that up. That's, again, my next one in my presidential project, which I haven't got very far. So I want to try to get that. I don't expect to finish John Adams in November, but I will at least want to get a good chunk of it done before the end of the month, and then I'll finish it in December. But yes, Cooper, he's cuddly. Look at this. He's a cuddly boy. I think that's it. I don't know what book I'll pick up next. I am gonna, like, today take back, like, all my library books, almost all of them. I do that every November as I pick out all these books, and I really want to read them, but I already own all these books that I want to read. And right now I'm, of course, having, yes, kitty, with all the books that I have, like, a ton of books piled up on my floor for the last 2 months that I need to get on my shelves somehow. And I have projects I want to do next year, and I'm already trying not to proud myself, and okay. So let's just say that I'm taking back all the library books that I'm not going to get to. There are certain ones that I really want to come back to. I do really want to try Underland by Robert McFarland. I might keep that one for the next week just to see if I want to try to read that. I kind of think I want to do that one on audio. It just I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a hardback and I don't want to carry it around. But I don't know. I might do that audio maybe later. I don't know. I haven't decided. And there's a couple other books that I might look at one more time before I take them back. But I kind of think I'm just going to get rid of them all and just go, let's just read books I own. Because really, I own a lot of books and I really should read what I own. So anyway, that is it. How is your guys' November going? Are you participating in Nonfiction November? How's your reading going? Read anything good? Let me know. I'm always looking for suggestions. And hey, are you guys doing NaNoWriMo? How's your writing going? As I said, I'm a little behind. I'm a day behind. Yes, Cooper. Keep your head down. And I'm probably going to catch up today and do 2 days worth, hopefully, this afternoon. And try to get back on track, because this next week is going to be hard because I have a lot of overtime. So anyway, that's it. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.